welcome to April's edition of Lions Pride. I'm Steve Murray, and I'm here with our host, Mr. Al Thomas, and Dean John McIsaac from Whittier House. We're here to celebrate April Students of the Month. And our first student of the month is from Emerson House. Emerson House is Lynnae Mew. Lynnae does 4 AP classes, environmental science, literature and composition, statistics and calculus. She also does anatomy and physiology. She's in the National Honor Society. She's in the National English Honor Society. She does Lead Like a Girl, and she does the girls' varsity volleyball team, earning a Scholar Athlete Award. She's also a Silver Award recipient from the Girl Scouts. And Lynnae wants to study biology when she goes to college. Congratulations and welcome. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing great, thank you. So, okay, you go first. You go.
I noticed that you are doing or have done a mural.
Yes.
Could you tell me what it's about?
I finished I was in charge of the junior cotillion mural last year, and then because of that, I was put in charge of a new mural. It's new this year. It's the class of 2019 mural. And so basically we're just incorporating a ton of different things that my class has done over the years, whether it be different sports teams that have made it the farthest, like the swim team and the boys volleyball team, or like our senior play, which was Fiddler, and we're just adding those on. And
where is it located?
It's outside of, right across from the band room, by Mr. G's office.
Now, did you have to make a proposal to do that?
Well, Mr. Murray wanted this to be a new thing, so my class is the first one.
All right.
But I kind of did because I had a couple different locations, and they wanted me to choose which one, so I had to give them options.
Well, very good.
So, what is the Silver Award recipient? What did you get that for? And
it was because of Girl Scouts. So my troop, I think it was 8th to 9th grade transition, and these were small groups of about like 3 or 4 girls, and my entire troop did ours at Camp Hall, but we broke it up into different sections. So my group, we did a touch and feel garden. So everything in that garden is herbs, things that can be like, you can use all your 5 senses to like see them, feel them, touch them, smell them.
That's quite an accomplishment. The Silver Award is amazing. And you said that was at Camp Hall. You've also, I said you work at the garden club, public library in what's the Pleasant Garden Daylilies?
So that's the company my grandparents own. So it's in their backyard, and it's probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen because it's just all flowers. So come summer, it's just all bright daylily flowers, and they plant them, breed them, sell them, everything.
Impressive.
Have you decided where you're going to go to school next year?
No, I'm between 2 options right now. So
which are?
UMass Amherst and RPI.
All right. You obviously have an interest in art, even though you're not headed in that direction in terms of career. Is there some way you might continue doing that?
I considered minoring in art, but I'm not sure about like the workload with bio. But I might like see if I can incorporate do some biology-based drawings or something like that.
Is there someone who's had a lot of influence on your life that you'd like to recognize today?
Well, both my parents. I mean, they're very motivational, actually. Lots of support for everything that I do, and they understand when I can't do everything. But then when I'm like, oh, I need to do this, they're like, okay, you go do that. And
that's great.
So.
Lynnae, you talked about volleyball at the breakfast last week, and
yes.
you kind of, not even so much about what happened at Chelmsford High School, but what you were doing for the lower levels of school. Kind of walk us through what you were doing with, was it McCarthy, I believe?
Yes, McCarthy, because that's where I came from. So it was my 8th grade. I wanted to make the volleyball team going in. I didn't know how competitive it would actually be. So with a couple of my friends, we just managed to convince the gym teachers to let us use the gym after school. But then from there, when I graduated and it was 9th grade, I was like, hey, there's some younger kids who'd probably like this as well. So my friend and I, we went back and we're like, we want to submit a proposal for a volleyball club after school. And I've been doing that ever since. So I started after the girls' season. So I do it at the same time as managing the boys' team, but it's just once a week. And I have some of my other friends who are on the girls' team who are taking it over next year.
Awesome.
So it should continue at least for a couple more years.
Good, that's great.
I know how we're doing.
Okay.
Should I?
Sure, definitely. I can keep track.
I don't want to rush that.
No problem.
I'm really thrilled, as all of us are, at what you've been able to accomplish at Chelmsford High School. And on behalf of the Rotary Club, I wish you the very best as you go forward. Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Our next student of the month is also from Emerson House. It's Spencer Gump. Spencer Gump does AP Environmental Science, AP Spanish, AP Psychology, AP English Literature. He's also the National Honor Society, National Spanish Honor Society, and the National English Honor Society. He's actively involved in DECA. He did varsity football, lacrosse, and on the ski team. And he had a huge job. One we value very much is serving on the executive board of our freshman mentor program. Spencer has aspirations of attending college to study economics and maybe pursue a career in corporate law. Congratulations, Spencer. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you for having me.
That's great.
I think when we last heard you, you spent some time talking about the value of the mock trial team and your involvement there.
Yes,
Talk a
definitely.
little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've been involved with mock trial for 2 years, and my sophomore year, I'd always known it existed, but I didn't really exactly know what it was, so I went to the advisor, Mr. Cole, and asked him about it, and then I applied. I had to submit an essay that I'd written, and then I found out at the end of my sophomore year that I had been accepted. And so what we do in mock trial is we start at the beginning of the year just learning about the basic rules of a courtroom and just different courtroom etiquette. And then in January you start actually competing against other teams. You're given a mock case. So this year our case was a criminal case, which was very interesting.
I'm sure.
And we did pretty well. We won our first 3 preliminary trials, and then we got to compete at Clark University, where we unfortunately lost to another school that ended up going to the Final 4
So they were good.
of mock trial. Yeah. So they were very talented.
As Mr. Murray made reference, you've been on the executive board of the mentor program, which is a very successful program. What kind of work did you have to do as a member of that board?
So I think the mentor program in general has always been improving. Each year you learn things to improve upon and things to change. So this year we decided to instill a survey for all the mentors to take and all the incoming freshmen to take. So we learned who had common interests and who would best be paired together and who would work basically well together. So we individually looked at each and every survey, paired them up by house. So I'm an Emerson, so I'm with Emerson freshman. Whittier is with Whittier, and Hawthorne's with Hawthorne. And so if someone's interested in theater, as an incoming freshman, we would pair them with someone that's involved with theater, so they can further help them out.
Oh, that's great.
A lot of work, but that's really, I think that
I think
pays
it
dividends.
paid off.
Sure. What are the main kind of concerns that the kids have coming into the high school?
Definitely the size of it.
Yeah.
As just walking through my middle school, McCarthy, if I'm ever there, it's definitely smaller.
Yeah.
So while I think the high school is small to me now, coming in, it's definitely different. And then something else that they might not be concerned about, but we like to let them know about, is just time management, as it's something that you don't really learn as well in middle school, how to balance your time with extracurriculars. So that's definitely something that we like to teach them about.
Do you know where you want to go to school next year?
Yeah, I'm going to attend the College of the Holy Cross
Fantastic.
in Whittier.
Good choice.
Yeah, we've had a lot of kids go there, and they all do very well. I don't want to put any pressure on, but they all do very well.
Thank
Well,
you.
congratulations, and on behalf of the Rotary Club, I want to present you this plaque.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
The next student of the month is from Hawthorne House. It's Kaitlyn Pearson. Kaitlyn Pearson, just like the previous two, has a full plate with AP Psychology, AP Literature, AP French, and AP Calculus. Also does honors Anatomy and Physiology. She is currently the president of our LIME, which is Leaders in Motion Everywhere. She's on RILA, serving as both a group and program facilitator, and she's the varsity cheerleading, earning most improved and most valuable honors, which is quite an accomplishment. And she does volunteer work at Lowell General Hospital and Free to Breathe, Run and Walk. And I believe you're looking at Northeastern or McGill for a psychology, pre-med, or a business, I believe. Congratulations, welcome.
Thank you.
So you're going on a trip this month?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes, I am. Yes, with DECA.
Well, maybe she's not going. You want to tell us about it, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. So that was my involvement with DECA. So I started DECA last year, actually, and then this year I partnered with Emma Boulay in financial team decision making, and we went through the district and state level, and now we're moving on to nationals in Orlando.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. Very excited.
How long is the conference? Is it a weekend?
I believe it starts on Saturday, and we get back Thursday, so
Oh, wow.
I miss a little bit of school.
Oh, gee, that's
I'm
too
excited.
bad.
The weather, I'm really hoping for some good weather.
I know you're putting in a lot of work these days to get things ready for RILA. What kinds of things have you been working on?
So monthly, we have a 5-hour conference with all of the GFs for this coming year. So as a PF, I lead those meetings. And we also have conference calls relatively regularly, kind of every other week, every 3 weeks, just in preparation. And we're also constantly contacting the RILA committee, and also we're in contact with GFs just to make sure everything is going accordingly, because it requires a lot of planning for that one weekend.
Yes, it does. Maybe you could just take a second to tell the difference in the two groups, because the principal had mentioned, and that you've done the GF and G this, and nobody knows what it means.
So you start out, you participate in RILA as a RILAN, that's what we call them. So then as a GF, which stands for group facilitator, you have a small group of, I believe, about 5 or 6 RILANs, and so that's who you kind of mentor throughout the weekend. And then this year as a program facilitator, I'm both teaching the group facilitators how to kind of do their job, as well as organizing the conference itself and working with the RILA committee to make improvements.
Well, that's really great. Is there someone who's had a great impact on your life, either at Chelmsford or outside of school, that you'd like to acknowledge today?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with my involvement in Leadership in Motion Everywhere, Mr. Bartos and Miss Leary have both acted as great role models for leadership as well as kindness throughout my years, and they've been great mentors for me.
Fantastic. How did you fit cheerleading into all of this? Isn't that a big time commitment?
Yeah, it definitely was. I very much enjoyed my time with cheerleading, gymnastics, club gymnastics, but unfortunately at the end of my sophomore year I had an injury, which put an end to that part of my life, but also opened so many new doors with different clubs and activities that I joined following that.
That's very good. I've forgotten, well, I knew you got hurt, but I didn't realize it stopped your cheerleading. So you won awards over the early part of your career in cheerleading, so you must have been pretty good. I don't wonder what that is.
Thank you.
Do you know where you're going to school next year?
So I'm deciding right now it's between BU and McGill, so I'm wrapping that up between the next coming weeks. But I'm hoping now to go into finance, so yeah.
Very nice.
Have you been to BU?
I have been to BU. My mom actually did graduate school there, and my brother is currently taking graduate classes there as well. So lots of stuff.
Maybe you get half off.
I wish we would.
Well, I hope you're getting one of the new dorms, though.
Yeah, I know.
They're beautiful, I know. All right. Well, again, for everything you've done here at school and with RILA and everything else, I want to congratulate you, and on behalf of the Rotary Club, give you a little plaque to remember us by.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Our next student of the month is student from Hawthorne House, Krista Rabias. Chris is currently enrolled in AP Psychology, Honors Anatomy and Physiology, Calculus, Mock Trial, also Senior Odyssey. Chris has been an active member of the varsity football, basketball, and baseball teams. He's also a freshman mentor. Has done some community service work in our building and also outside. And next year he plans to attend Assumption College, where he'll be continuing with his educational career and baseball. Welcome, Chris. The other day, you kind of walked us through your story of you ended up here kind of middle of your high school career, and it's been a really smooth transition, which is really nice to hear, being in our shoes in the building. Kind of tell your story to the people of, where you're at and how you got here.
So basically, the people of Chelmsford High School have brought me to where I am today. Great people. great environment, made it really easy for me to change schools my junior year, which doesn't always happen. And especially the sports teams, I think, has brought me even closer with the people that I haven't grown up with, considering all these people have grown up together, and I just kind of hopped in. So it was a good move, definitely for the better for me, and it's opened so many doors for me.
Awesome. I know baseball just started up. Kind of, what are our thoughts for the season? I know you had a nice win, good team win the other day.
Yeah, it was a good win the other day. We got to make sure the weather doesn't get on our side, right? Yeah, we'll be pretty good. We got our pitching staff coming back, so we're looking to go deep this year.
Good.
What position do you play? I'm sorry I haven't seen you yet.
I'm a catcher and an outfielder.
Okay, catcher's tough position.
That is.
Have you been playing that since little league
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of stuff?
all the way back.
All the way back. All right. What playing 3 sports is? It's a physical and mental challenge because there's very little break in between. You kind of just shift from one thing to another. You want to comment about that? The challenge of doing 3 seasons?
Yeah, definitely. So I got to make the most of my time for sure. Communication with the coaches is definitely big. But all the coaches are great guys, so they let me do what I need to do. The rest I need, games I need to play. For the homework aspect, like work out of school, it's definitely tough. There's definitely some nights you got to stay up late and figure stuff out, study a little bit more. Go in early, get some extra study time. But it's definitely been the best for me.
Did your baseball coach have any influence on going to Assumption?
He did. He did. He drove me in that
He lives
direction.
and breathes Assumption, doesn't he?
He did. He went there.
Yeah, and he had a pretty good career there.
He did, yes.
I assume that competitive team games is a PE class.
It is, yes.
Is it new?
No, it's been around for a few
Couple of
years.
years?
Yeah, it's been around for a few years.
Can you tell me what it is?
So basically, it's a bunch of senior boys.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's bad right off the beginning.
I think it's about 25 senior
Yeah.
boys, and we basically just all go down, have a good time, play basketball, we play volleyball, play badminton, dodgeball.
That's good.
Play a little bit of everything. It's good
Great.
to have a little competition during school.
How seriously did you play the guitar?
Oh, I try my hardest in that class. I might not be the best, but I try my hardest, for sure.
Well, it's kind of fun. It's amazing how many people try the guitar. I did. It didn't go very far in college, but half the people on my floor the freshman year were playing guitar. So, is there somebody you would like to recognize for their contribution to your life?
Definitely someone at CHS, Chrissy Harrington. He's just been so positive. It taught me a lot about myself and about other people and about how life works. So he's been really good to me.
I think it's one of the, our school has been very understanding and involving people with handicaps in a lot of ways. And when you see what he's contributed season after season with all kinds of people, it's just, it's amazing. And I'm glad that you had a chance to meet him and deal with him.
Chris, your involvement as freshman mentor, we had Spencer up here who was on the board. As someone who, you're kind of a leader in the building and with sports, to not be in a leadership role, like how was the program and I guess coming into the building too, you almost need some mentoring to get used to it. Like,
Yeah,
what were your
sure.
thoughts of it kind of as a mentor?
I think the mentor board does a great job. I think they match us up really well. So I was with 2 kids that were interested in basketball and football. So it was pretty easy for me to connect with them and to really talk to them about their problems and what they need to know about the school. And definitely came in my junior year, I learned the insides and outs really quick. And I knew them, it was right in my head, so it was helpful.
Awesome.
Did they tell you to go upstairs to see the pool?
They did.
Oh, I'm glad that tradition's continuing.
I got that a bunch.
On behalf of the Chelmsford Rotary, I want to congratulate you on the great job you've done and join us, and good luck next year.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations.
Our next student of the month is from Whittier House. It is Krista Cabeca. Krista is currently enrolled in AP Literature, AP Biology, AP Psychology, Biotech, Calculus, and Spanish. She's a member of the National Honor Society, the National Spanish Honor Society, and the National English Honor Society. Member of the International Relations Science Team and participated in Model UN, which is the reason she was out the other day, Mr. Murray, which I'll get to. She's a freshman mentor advisor as well. She's serving as a secretary on the board, works for Kumon Math and the Reading Center. Next year, she'll be attending Santa Clara University, majoring in biology with a pre-med concentration. Welcome, Krista.
Thank you.
I know you weren't there, but the other day at the breakfast, because you were on a field trip, Mr. Murray suggested you may be suspended.
That was
It was the best line
Could
of
it be
the day.
any further from the truth? So let's start with Model UN. You were on the field trip. I know the group did pretty well. You were out for 3 days?
Yes.
Kind of take us through that experience and what the club is and the group.
Yeah, so the big conference we go to is at UMass Lowell. So we each have a country and a committee. So each of the committees help to solve different problems throughout the world. So I was Turkey for the World Health Organization. So we had 2 topics. We discussed mental health and substance abuse, and we tried to come up with resolutions to try to help those problems.
How many of our students were along on that field trip?
There was like a lot of students, maybe like 25 maybe.
So then all represent different countries, or our school represents one country?
Each different countries.
Excellent. Okay, good.
You won
lot
an
of-
award, right?
Yes.
That was you gonna.
Chelmsford won the Best Delegation Award.
That's hard.
That's really hard.
I mean, a lot of times, 'cause I used to be involved with that, and it's easy, not easy, but it's easier to have one person or whatever, but to do well across the board is outstanding, so congratulations.
A lot of hard work.
The Honor Societies, clearly you've done very well for many years in the academic classrooms. I guess what class or what field have you enjoyed the most at CHS? Because you've done well in all of them, and obviously in the future, I know you're going into the bio field.
Yeah, my favorite subject is definitely science. And Miss Tylenda, my freshman year biology teacher and junior year anatomy and physiology teacher, was like a big influence on that. She was always super supportive and helpful, and she's like one of the main reasons that I decided to go into that field.
Awesome. Miss Taha for Spanish, is that where you with now? Or are you Miss Sanchez? Who do you have for Spanish?
Senor Mulroney.
Oh, Mr. Excellent. Okay, very good. National Honor Society of Spanish is also a very difficult thing to get into, so congratulations for that.
Yeah.
Mentor board, we've heard a lot about it. Can you bring a
Yes.
different light to it from what
Yeah.
Spencer or Chris have talked to us about?
So I'm the secretary of the mentor board, so I help with taking like notes at our meetings and everything, and it's like a really great opportunity to be able to give back to the CHS community, because I know as a freshman I was super nervous going into it that I would get lost or like things would go wrong, so it's nice to be able to help the freshmen now.
Awesome.
What do you look forward to most when you go to Santa Clara University?
I'm so excited to be going to California. No more snow.
That's true. It's beautiful there.
Yes.
Beautiful campus. Mm-hmm. Have you a chance to visit?
Yes, I was able to visit twice actually. I have family who live on the West Coast, so I'll have people like kind of nearby, so that'll help with like the transition to move far away.
Yeah, my cousin went there and they loved it. It's beautiful.
Kumon Math, is that local? Are you in the area teaching that, or?
It's in Lowell, so I
Okay.
work with the younger group of kids. The youngest is 3 and the oldest is
jeez.
9. And I
Wow.
work with them on like math and reading skills.
Okay. I'm nervous. I have a 5-year-old and I feel like he should be doing some Kumon Math.
Or Russian.
Yeah, well, we do.
That's another one.
Very good.
Outside of your studies, what would you be doing in Santa Clara on your own personal time?
I definitely want to like get involved in the community, and doing volunteer work is something that's really important to me. So there's a bunch of different volunteering groups that work at Santa Clara, so definitely getting involved in those.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
We're going to be jealous, especially next winter when you're enjoying your time out there and the snow is falling.
Do you have an area in the medical field that you're kind of aiming toward?
I haven't really decided that much yet.
Yeah, because they're different,
Yeah.
very different. But yeah, a lot of time, so don't worry about it.
Here we go for Krista.
Thank you. All right. Well, again, the achievement that all of you have attained in Chelmsford is outstanding, and we're very proud of you, and the Rotary Club wishes you the very best as you go forward.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Our last student of the month is from Whittier House, Elias Pereira. Elias is currently enrolled in AP Spanish, AP Psychology, Senior Odyssey, Physics Honors, and Pre-Calculus. Elias is a member of the National Honor Society, the National Spanish Honor Society, the varsity soccer and varsity tennis teams. This past fall, he was a second-team MVC All-Conference player on the very successful boys soccer team. Enjoys playing soccer, of course, and fishing, and next year he'll be attending Suffolk University, majoring in business management, and I found out last week that he'll be continuing with soccer. Welcome.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Thank you.
Great. Welcome.
Elias, we talked a little bit last week about kind of soccer and the influence it's had on you and like the group of student athletes you've come up with. This past fall was very successful, 13-3-2. I know you've had a new coach since you've been here. Kind of talk to us about like the culture of the team and kind of how you became successful over your 4 years here.
So most of the boys I've been playing with since I was like a little kid. So I've known like most of them since I was like maybe 6. So I've been playing with these kids for like 10 years. So I think that really helped with our success like this year because we've been together for so long. We know how we all play. So we work really well together. And then with the new coach who came in 2 years ago, he doesn't know much about soccer per se because like he hasn't much experience. He played when he was in high school and stuff. But his positive attitude just really helped with the team, like compared to the old coach. He just came with a very positive attitude. He like understand how we all like work, and he was really able to like influence us in a positive direction, so he wouldn't like bring each other down, and that led to our success this season.
Goes a long way. Next year, business management. When I look at your classes you're enrolled in now, there's not a lot of business. I guess how did we get to business management? Were there classes previously, or just a general interest in that, and that's a field you'd like to get into?
Well, I've only taken like a couple business classes because I don't have room for many electives. But my dad, he's in the business management side of things with his job, so that really influenced me to pick that to major in.
Good. Have you had any experience with him, either working with him or kind of sharing work stories to kind of gain interest? Or
not
just...
really. He's usually at work most of the time. But I'm just like, I find myself to be like a leader, so I think that'd be a good field for me to go into.
Excellent. Suffolk's a great school. Go ahead.
So what was one thing that really stood out for you in Chelmsford High School that you liked?
Definitely the tennis team. So freshman year, I've always played tennis like as a hobby in the summers, but my parents convinced me to try for the team because I met Ethan Hirsch through JV soccer freshman year, and he was the captain that year. So through him, I thought I'd just try for the team, see how it went, and I made varsity that year, and I've been on varsity all 4 years. But the tennis team is just really different from all the other teams at CHS, where there's no like set varsity JV. We all practice together. So like I've met a lot of kids through that I would have never met otherwise, and it's been a really good time.
To number 2 this year?
Yep.
Still moved up to 1?
No, not yet.
That's
and
coming,
he still
though.
has that spot.
Then you had your first match last week?
Last week.
And how'd it go?
was a tough match against Westford. They're very good.
All right, that's all right. Academic-wise, I guess what's been your favorite course or your favorite courses to study at your time here?
Definitely the business courses, because I find interest in that. So Mr. Shoup, and I've had Mr. Russo in the past, and they know a lot about business, especially Mr. Shoup since he runs the Lions locker. So like through that, I've learned more about the business side of things.
Awesome. Good. What about the core class? Obviously Spanish, you're in your can't go any further in Spanish.
Yeah.
And then obviously the senior classes.
I like the science class a lot. So this year I'm taking anatomy and physics. I find like physics and chem to be a lot harder for me because it's more math-based, but anatomy this year, it's been really enjoyable because now we're dissecting cats, and it's more like hands-on, and I've learned better that way.
And that's going to take you through May? Like into May, right?
It's a lot.
What part of the cat are you into right now?
Right now we're on the legs, so we're learning about all the muscles in the leg, and there's a lot of them.
Yes, there are.
Yeah. I thought they only had 4 legs. Yeah, 4 legs. So you're going to be playing soccer at Suffolk University.
Yep.
How's the team there?
Well, they had a rough couple of seasons, but this year the coach is bringing a lot of new recruits, so I think we're going to be pretty successful next year. And he said I could have a starting position my freshman year, so that's pretty exciting.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
That's good. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Fishing, any popular fishing holes in the area that you find some luck?
Most of my fishing I do when I go to visit my grandparents in the Azores, which is part of Portugal.
Okay.
So I fish more in like the ocean, not like ponds and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, so no updates, no local info.
Maybe this summer.
Yeah, I want to see what you get out of Boston Harbor. That'd be nice.
It's clean.
Yeah, it's clean. That's right.
Just remember.
Exactly.
That's great.
Well, again, yeah, you've done a great job, and Suffolk's very lucky to have you going there, and we're sure that you will make a major contribution to their program. So on behalf of the Rotary Club, best of luck.
Thank you.
Sure.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Elias, did you choose Suffolk because you're playing soccer there, or did that just come afterwards?
Well, I wanted to go to school in the city. That was like a big thing for me. I just want to be in the city, get involved with all of that, because there's so much to do there. So that was like one of my top choices anyway, and then I contacted the coach and started talking to him, and